students. Can you guys see me? I don't think you can see me very well. So let me make it a little better by getting us some light. Now, just that quick, my lab is full of light energy coming from the lights that are on the ceiling. And that's what we're going to be investigating today, light energy. So, what is light? Well, light is actually electromagnetic radiation. And one of these days, when you get into the upper grades, you're going to get a real understanding of what those words actually mean. It's partly electric and partly magnetic, and it flows in a straight line. And to help understanding about that, I have a little short presentation, and then I'm going to be showing you some examples of light sources, and we'll discuss those. So bear with me while I share my screen with you guys this morning. And that's old Smokey. And Smokey usually will actually respond to the natural light that is provided by the sun, usually early in the morning. I guess he's up early this morning, letting us know that it is morning time. It's loading, so bear with me. Okay. The study of light is actually a science. And you know, what senses did you use just a minute ago when there was no light in here? You were trying to what? Actually see me. And what happened when I turned the lights on? You were actually able to see me. So what sense or what senses would you use to observe light? And of course, you guys know, hey, the senses of eyesight or vision. How do we see light? What happened there? Yep, I lost the connection some kind of way.
Try clicking on the Google Chrome icon or hitting escape.
There we go. All right. Where does light come from, guys? Think about that just for a little bit. Light seems to be all around us, especially when I turned these big lights on in the room here. It just surrounded us instantly. And I can remember a time when we had different types of light bulbs in here that if you turn the light switch on, it would take about 30 minutes for this room to become lit up, okay? Can you name some sources of light? And hopefully by the end of this presentation, you will be able to do that. Actually, there is a source of what we call natural light that provides light for our planet, and that is the sun. And I want you guys to realize that the sun is actually a star, because we're going to go back to that fact about the sun being a star later on. Also a candle, which has the flame. That is a source of natural light also. Fire is natural. But there, a light bulb actually is a source of light that is considered to be man-made. What about some reflectors of light? And there are some things that will reflect light. And I'll go over that a little bit when I show you some of the examples that I have to present to you. These can look like light sources, but are really reflecting the light. You know, so many people think that our moon is a source of natural light, but is it really? I don't think so. The moon actually is a reflection of light coming from where? Think about it now. It's coming from the sun. So the moon is illuminated or it's lit up simply because of the sun's light reflecting off of it, bouncing off of it. How does light help us see? Light is type of energy known as magnetic radiation. It's made up of protons, little particles of energy. And later on, you guys are going to learn about the building blocks of all matter. Anything that is made up of matter is made up of atoms, and protons are parts of atoms, little tiny particles. Light travels as a wave, but unlike waves of water or sound waves, it does not need any medium or anything in between to travel through. This means that light can travel through a vacuum, a completely airless space, guys, meaning it doesn't have to be anything in here. For example, this room, it lit up this whole room, and there wasn't anything up in the ceiling that it needed to reflect off of. It just filled up the empty space with light energy. Light waves travel out from sources of light in straight lines. These lines are often called rays or beams of light. How does light help us to see? Well, rays of light travel from a light source and hit objects all around us. The rays of light reflect or bounce off an object and then travel into our eyes. This reflection of light allows us to see objects. Like here. And light from the light bulb travels in a straight line and hits the chair. And then the ray of light is reflected off the chair and travels in a straight line to the girl's eyes that is in this image, enabling her to see the chair. Can you describe how you can see some objects right now? And you guys might take a little time and discuss that with your teacher, but I'm going to have to move on a little bit more. I'm going to come out of this and show you guys some examples of some of the light sources that I have used in my experiences in life. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're back where you guys can see me, and I have several light sources right here. First of all, I would like to show you a lamp. Now, this lamp has something called a shade on it. Here's the light bulb. Now, this shade is not going to let the light penetrate or come through the light wave. So I'm going to put the shade, well, let's just go ahead and light it up. Now, that's pretty bright, isn't it? But once I put the shade on, a lot of the light is not being able to go through the shade. And it's channeling the reflection of the light up above and below. And that's how lamps usually work. Of course, this is an antique lamp. It's not very big. I borrowed it from my wife to show you this as an example. Now, man-made light sources usually have some type of switch. Here's another little, I call it a portable light. You know, there's all kinds of light sources that we use today. It has a string just like you would have on an electrical light source, but this one is ran by battery energy. And you can see, of course, it's not very bright, but it did come on. And this is another source of what we call man-made light. You know, today, a flashlight doesn't have to be very big to put out a lot of light waves. Here, this is a flashlight that I usually carry with me when I'm out in the woods or when I'm fishing. It's very small, but if you look at this, it's pretty bright. And it can get brighter. And it can get dimmer. And it can flash in case I have an emergency. All kinds of lights exist in our world today. I have another one if I'm working on something. This is a light that I would use if I was working on my vehicle, on my truck, and I have to do that a lot because it's an old truck. And it is very bright. If I can get it to come on. Did somebody leave this one on? I think they did. I have to put some new batteries in it. We're going to have to skip this one. And I like to hunt. And I was telling you about the different light sources we have now. This is my hunting hat. And believe it or not, this hunting hat that I have right here, you see that? Guess what? It has built-in lights. Just like that. To make it handy, so if I'm walking into the woods, or not necessarily to go hunting, but maybe I want to go into the woods and get myself positioned to take some photographs, I would use this hat. Now, there are some examples of natural light. Now, we know the sun is natural light, right? And another example would be the stars that we see at night, because guess what? Remember what I said about our sun? It's just another star. So all those little tiny stars that you're seeing up there in that night sky, that is a form of natural light. And of course, I can remember long ago, and this kind of tells you how old I am, a lot of people did not have electrical light sources or battery light sources. They used candles to see. Now, today they don't necessarily use a lot of candles just to be able to see, but they may use fragrant candles to add a little smell as the candle is burning. And candles usually are lit up by using what? Fire. And fire is a form of natural light, guys. Okay? Smells pretty good. Blow that out right quick. I'll tell you one more thing that is natural light, and I have a lot of respect for it. And when a thunderstorm comes through and you see that flash of lightning, is that natural light? It gives you something to think about.